Day of Atonement is a short story written by Margaret Wood that takes place in a small English town. The story revolves around a young boy named Stephen, who has recently lost his father in a tragic accident. Stephen's mother is a devout Christian and takes him to church every Sunday. However, Stephen has grown disillusioned with Christianity and has stopped attending church. The story begins on the day of the annual Harvest Festival, a day when the villagers come together to celebrate and give thanks for the bounty of their land. Stephen's mother is preparing for the day's festivities, while Stephen is reluctant to go. However, he eventually agrees to go along with his mother. As they make their way to the church, Stephen notices that the streets are lined with bunting and decorations, and everyone is dressed in their finest clothes. When they arrive at the church, they find it is overflowing with people. The service begins with hymns of praise and thanksgiving for the harvest, and Stephen's mother is visibly moved. However, Stephen remains unmoved and uninterested in the service. During the service, the priest speaks about the Day of Atonement, a day of repentance and forgiveness for sins. Stephen is reminded of the accident that claimed his father's life, and how he had wished he could turn back time and prevent it from happening. He realizes that he is still struggling to come to terms with his father's death and the guilt he feels over it. After the service, the villagers gather for a communal feast. Stephen is greeted by his friends, who invite him to play games and enjoy the festivities. However, Stephen is still preoccupied with his thoughts and wanders off into the countryside. As he walks, he comes across a field of wheat and is struck by the beauty of it. He lies down in the field and begins to think about his father. As he lies there, Stephen sees a vision of his father standing before him. His father tells him that he is proud of him and that he should not blame himself for his death. He tells Stephen that it is time to move on and make the most of his life. Stephen is deeply moved by the vision and feels a sense of peace wash over him. He realizes that he has been holding on to his guilt and grief for too long, and that it is time to let it go. He returns to the village and rejoins the festivities, feeling renewed and ready to face the future. In conclusion, Day of Atonement is a story that explores themes of grief, guilt, and forgiveness. Stephen's journey to come to terms with his father's death and the guilt he feels over it is a universal experience that many readers can relate to. Margaret Wood's writing is vivid and descriptive, bringing the English countryside and its traditions to life. The story is a poignant reminder that, even in times of great sorrow, there is always hope for healing and renewal.